Have you ever thought about this? If God knew Satan will one day mess up his entire creation, then why at all did he create Satan at the first place? So let's say you are an all-powerful and all-knowing being who has decided to create other creatures. But since you are all-knowing, you know there is this particular creature called Satan, who will one day attempt to stage an uprising against your authority and totally mess up your entire creation. The big question here is that, would you have created such a being and to top it all make him one of the closest to your throne? From the Bible or scriptures, we know that God Almighty is omniscient. This means that God is all-knowing and sees everything even before they happen. Proverbs 5 verse 2, 1 John chapter 3 verse 19, and Job 37 verse 16 proves that God knows everything that will come to pass and things that have already happened in the past. So from these we can emphatically approve that God knew the exact destiny of Satan even before his creation. God's creation of Satan was not a mistake like many people think, because if God makes mistakes, then he will cease to be the perfect God he is. So then we can say that God has his own reasons for creating Satan, who was originally called Lucifer, but the big question is, what are God's exact reason for creating Satan? Though the Bible does not expressively reveal God's exact plan for creating Satan, we can say one thing here from our limited understanding, that the creation of Satan was part of God's sovereign plan all along. Since God foreknew Satan's destiny, then the creation of Satan was not a mistake. And if the creation of Satan was not a mistake, then God indeed had a reason for creating him. This is just similar to the situation of Judas Iscariot. Jesus Christ, who was a manifestation of God, knew beforehand that Judas Iscariot will betray him someday. In fact, before Judas Iscariot was born, there was already a prophecy in the Old Testament that stated emphatically the destiny of Judas. Yet still Jesus Christ, knowing this, could have just decided to exempt him from the apostles, but he still appointed him as an apostle and made him a keeper of their finances. But was that move by Jesus Christ a mistake? It was obviously not. Because at the end of it all, we could perfectly tell that Judas Iscariot was part of God's sovereign plan for the salvation of the entire humanity. So then we can also say that the creation of Satan was also part of God's sovereign plan. But the question here is that, what was God's exact plan for creating Satan? From the entire scriptures, one thing we can very much establish is the fact that God cherishes the sincere and genuine love of his creations, and always want them to willfully acknowledge and worship him as the supreme creator of the heavens and of the earth. If not, God will have not left the tree of knowledge of good and evil in the middle of the garden, knowing very well that Adam and Eve might end up eating from it. So we can understand here that God's creation of Satan was possibly a means of separating his entire creation who loved him from those who did not. Because the Bible made it very clear that 1/3 of angels in heaven feel to the lies of Satan, this practically proves that there were even billions of angels in heaven who were worshiping God not out their love for him, but rather because they had no other choice than to do so. The creation of Satan also gave mankind the opportunity to decide whether they really wanted to follow God or not. That way, there won't be billions of people following God against their will, but rather people who follow and worship God out of their genuine and sincere love for him. And this is exactly why we think Satan was created, even though God knew forehand he will attempt to rise against him. So it is evident that a time is coming where God will separate those who love him from those who do not. He will separate those who choose him from those who choose to worship Satan. And after that, there will be a divine reunion, and he will be their God forever and ever. Have you chosen to follow God with all your heart, or you have chosen to follow Satan? Let us know what you choose in the comment section. Please like this video so it can reach more people. Don't forget to tell us who you have chosen to serve in the comment section. Peace.